Hello and welcome to the Healing Circle, a modern day approach to spirituality hosted by the founder, Spiritual Wellness Christine. It is my mission to help people find an achievable approach to wellness and spiritual healing. With insights into the spiritual world, this weekly podcast will remind you of just how important it is to find balance in your busy life. Hello and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm going to talk about a topic that I think has gone through absolutely everyone's mind on this planet at one stage of their lives. What happens to us when we die? My intention for this podcast today is to reduce the fear around death. After all, death is not an ending, it's a transformation, and it's inevitable. And it's also the natural cycle of life. So, what is there to fear? What happens when we pass over into the spiritual realm, or do we just go into a black hole? What happens? So I have been informed to try and explain to you in simple terms of what happens. So if you can imagine the spiritual realm is like a set of stairs, and the set of stairs are all different levels. So each step is a different level. And there can be young souls at the start of the set of stairs, and then there'll be older souls at the very top in terms of their soul evolution. So the longer they're here on Earth, the older the soul, and also the higher they are up the set of stairs. So what is the ultimate idea of the stairs? So it is all about the projection upwards of the soul evolution. And each step is like a different level, and we will not pass that step until we have learned what we have set out to learn when we come down here to Earth. So yes, we as souls decide to come to Earth to learn something. We learn about dense energy, we learn about emotions, we learn about healing, we learn about pain, we learn about the darkness, we learn about the light, love, compassion. If you think about it, absolutely every energy you can think of, we experience here on Earth. And also Mother Earth, her beautiful planet, the animals, etc. Like we can really connect to this energy. It's a very grounding energy. And I think that's in essence why souls are so attracted to come down here, is to experience that ground earth energy. So if you can imagine a soul is on a certain level and they've decided that they want to learn about the fear of judgment, and they will come together in collaboration with spirit guides, and they will pick their spirit guides, and then they'll also pick the family that they want to be born into, what lessons they want to learn from them, what energy they want to bring in on their time here on Earth. So if you think of the Big Bang Theory and how the universe was made, so it was light and energy come together, big huge bang, and boom, there was the universe. It's exactly the way a soul enters the physical form. So mom and dad's egg, sperm come together, energy and light, bang, big bang in the womb. And the womb is the natural spiritual gateway in a woman's body. That's why we're so powerful, ladies. We are goddesses. We were once so honored and so cherished because we were powerful goddesses. And we had the gateway to the spiritual realm within our womb. So when a child is born, they have amnesia, and the soul does not know or can remember what they're meant to figure out down here on Earth. However, with the help of their spirit guides, the spirit guides will try and throw things in front of that soul in order to put them on their healing journey. They'll experience either they're being judged, this is just the example, or that they are judging, okay? And the negative energy around that, and to learn the different aspects of it. So, however, we have free will down here on planet Earth. It's one thing that the Creator, God, Mother Earth, whatever it is in your mind, I'm not here to have that conversation. It's whatever you believe in. We have free will. And free will is that we can, anytime we can make a decision, there's always two choices. And if we take a choice that doesn't align with our soul mission, say, our spirit guides will try all their might to get us back on that right path
Okay. So for instance, I might say a lot of listeners out there, if they're spiritual seekers now and they're starting to step onto their spiritual journey, they may have already remembered little bits of when they were younger and being very spiritual. However, life came along and knocked them off that path. But however, they're finding themselves back on it. Okay. That's an example of how we can get knocked off our path. But our spirit guides will constantly try and bring us back onto it in order for us and our soul evolution. Okay. So if we learn that aspect of what we want to come down and learn, we will spend our lifetime healing from that or ignoring the signs and the pull within until eventually our spirit guides have to step in and do something quite drastic. It can be like a life-altering experience, something where the world crumbles and the only way is up. We are very low, very down. The only way is to crawl out and go on our healing journey. And I think majority of listeners would be able to think of one thing where they had to go through in order to push through and go on their healing journey. And that is a pure example of how our spirit guides come in and shake it up because we're not listening. Okay. And say if we learned that energy, we learned that lesson, and we will pass over and we will transform into the spiritual realm, but we will sit around for about 6 to 8 weeks after we pass. Our souls are in a place where we review our lifetime and we see where the lessons were, where on our free will did we go a little bit skewered off our path. And then it is up to us to decide whether we want to come back down. Are we happy to stay at this level? Or do we want to go down and learn another aspect of ourselves? And basically, if you don't learn the lesson, you'll stay on that step or that level until you do in one of your lifetimes. And you could be there in that level for how long? Good few lifetimes. And then you progress upwards so that you become the old soul. So you ever hear of a child being born and everyone saying, oh my God, that child has been up here before, pure old soul. Or you may come across somebody that is really childish, really young, no self-awareness. They're the young souls. Okay. So that in essence is what happens after we die. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do you explain like abusers or really dark energies, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very hard for our human mind to comprehend this, okay? But where there's light, there's always darkness. And we have to learn that yin and yang of ourselves on a spiritual realm. In the spirit world, like it is love and light, but the whole essence of earth energy, grounding energy, dense energy is to experience some of the darkness as well for our soul evolution. So a soul may decide to come down onto this earth to be an abuser, which is very hard for our human mind to comprehend, and then may go back into the spiritual realm and say, okay, I'm going to learn the other aspect of that hurt and that pain, and I'm going to come down as the abused person. And that, in essence, is how we, on a soul level, understand that type of energy coming down to earth, okay? There is dark out there. Where there is light, there is always dark. However, the light and love that is in the spiritual realm expands so much more than the darkness because it pushes it into the shadow. The more we go on our healing journey, the more light and love that comes in, and for everyone on a collective level's soul evolution. So on a collective level, we are moving into a very important time in our lives, particularly with Pluto in Aquarius. And a lot of people are going on their spiritual journey. They're listening to the calling, and they're more, they plans all to be down on this earth at this time to experience the dark energy on earth in order for them to be pushed into the light and to learn to grow and to heal. And on a collective level, the more of us that heal and spread love and light on this planet, the more the darkness recedes into the shadows. But always with every energy, there is always, and we can see it on an individual level and also on a collective level, there has to be a shakeout, like there has to be a breakdown in order for a breakthrough to happen. We have to see what's not working. We need to see the hidden truth behind everything in order to understand we don't want the evil. We don't want the darkness. So we have a calling to step more into light and onto our healing journey. And yeah, I think in terms of what happens after we die, it is a transformation and it is the cycle of life, but it is all to do with our soul evolution. I always find that old souls, people that have been here for a very long time, they've had many lifetimes on this earth, and they would be quite wise, if they'd gone on their healing journey. If they really, really step into that energy, you can always think of someone that's like, God, he was a real old soul. He was very wise. He was able to share a lot. I learned a lot from that person. That's an old soul. Okay. And they might be at the top of the set of stairs and are ready for the final level in order to reach that higher light, that soul evolution. And yeah, it's hard for people to understand around suicide. When someone dies by suicide, it is the soul can't comprehend the dense energy that they experience down here, and they want out. We have an ability to say when we want to leave this earth, and that is free will as well. So when it's too much, the energy is too dense, it is actually very hard for a soul to look past that energy. And particularly here on the earth plane, they will decide to exit, and they will exit. And I think a lot of people that suffer, the families that experience people that die by suicide, it's very, very hard for them to comprehend and get their head around it. However, it is about believing that they've transformed into love and light and they are not suffering anymore. There is no suffering. We don't carry any of the dense energy that we experience here on earth into the spiritual realm. It is purely love, and it's a vibration of love that we're only on the tip of the iceberg of feeling what love is on this planet. If you can multiply it by 1,000, that's what it's like in the spiritual realm. We can't be at that same vibration down here. We will eventually, if on a collective level, everyone goes on their healing journey and steps into light more and works from their heart, spreading love and light. Love will expand, and a lot of people will understand the magnitude of the vibration of the love that is experienced in the spiritual realm. But until then, we all need to do the work down here on earth. And yeah, that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. I am always open up to the discussion. I love speaking about how we can transform both here on the earth as we're walking this path, and also when we transform into the spiritual realm as well. I've always had an interest in it, and I've seen too much to not believe that there is nothing out there. Another thing is earthbound spirits. A lot of people are like, well, what happens when there's like ghosts or spirits in houses and they experience that type of thing? So this is how, when I first started off, it's about reducing the fear around death. A lot of people are fearing death. And when they pass over, they get stuck between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And they're called earthbound spirits. And they're afraid to step into light. They either have unfinished business, their human mind is still consuming them. They're afraid. They don't want to leave their loved ones. They're confused. And it's just fear. So their spirit guides will try and bring them over to the light. However, people are still scared. Spirits are still scared. So what happens if maybe a shaman might come in, someone that will help that soul pass over and bring them into the golden tongue and get them into the light. When they pass over into spiritual realm, they will change into their light, into their spirit. And that means then they can come in and out between the two realms whenever they want, so that they can still be around their family. But earthbound spirits, they're stuck. And that's the thing about releasing the fear of death. Because there is so many people, spirits, figure guards don't understand when they're in the middle. When they're over in the spiritual realm, the spirits, There's many souls that are stuck on the earth plane and are afraid to step into light. So think, what does death mean to you? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But it's to reduce the fear, release it, because we can step into light a hell of a lot more. And then we can come back again and learn another lesson. Yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will gladly answer them. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast and I will talk to you again soon.
We have come to the end of this week's episode. I hope that you enjoyed everything that we covered today. If you're interested in what I do and who I am, you can always go to my website, spiritualwellnesschristine.com, where you can book in for a session and where you can sign up to my newsletter. You can also go over to Instagram, where you probably get the most up-to-date access. My handle is @spiritualwellnesschristine. With all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week and I'm looking forward to seeing you here next week. May your mind be at peace, your body in harmony, love in your heart, and your spirit free. Have a good one.